So you want to colour your hair? Okay. So you want to know how to get your hair popping, how to get the colour to pop, how to get it so bright, how to keep the texture still intact, still kinky. Okay guys, I've done colour, I've done many colours. I have had green, I've had blue, I've had red, I've had blonde, I've had a few. I can give you my experience on colouring natural kinky hair. So here are some tips on how to colour your hair. Stick around and grab yourself a cup of tea, a notepad, grab a pen, or just save this video for future references. Alright guys, see you on the other side. Right. So there's the first few things that you want to consider before colouring your hair. There are 3 different types of colours. The first one would be permanent colour, which is a colour that stays but only removes itself by growing out. The second one is semi-permanent, which is a colour that lasts for a few washes. Sometimes the colour stains, sometimes it fades away. If you have colour treated hair beforehand, then a semi-permanent might stay, might fade out, or may even stain the hair. The third one would be a temporary colour. Now that one is something that can use on any hair type, any hair colour, and it comes in many forms. It comes in lipsticks, it comes in mascara, it comes in the chalk, it comes in setting lotions, it comes in mousses, it comes in sprays, it comes in many different forms on any hair type. The technology is really upped its game right now, so you can colour your hair in multiples of colours and it just looks fab, and you can wash it off, comb it off, wipe it off, and it's fine. Okay, let's go deeper. Okay, so things to consider before colouring your hair. Now I have low porosity hair, and in the past I've coloured my hair with the Maji contrast colour. And when I first used it, initially it was because I had a colour on my hair, and so the colour that I used, the brand that I used, was able to lift out the colour and impart particles in the hair shaft. It wasn't vibrant, but it did better than most other colours, because some colours are not equipped for that kind of strenuous work. So you really want to consider the porosity of your hair. Okay, if you're low porosity, you may want to consider before colouring your hair to ensure that your cuticles are open, because this can be a hindrance to the colour that you would want to achieve, because the hair is so stubborn that it will not lift. So if your cuticles are open, then the colours are able to go in and stay in your hair, whereas if your hair is tightly closed, then it's going to be very difficult for the colour to penetrate and to actually rest on your hair shaft. So it is definitely a challenge to get the hair to be very vibrant. You want to ensure that you have no barriers on your hair shaft, no oils, no moisturizers to coat the hair shaft, because the colour is not going to be able to penetrate into your hair, and then that's going to cause a lot of distress and a lot of disappointments for yourself and the hairstylist. And ensure your hair is dry before the colour is before you do your hair, or you're going to get the service done, because this will it's just weaker when your hair is wet. If you have medium porosity, you still want to go in there with clean hair so that you have no barriers to block the colour to rest in your hair. Ensure your hair is in good condition, and yeah, I think medium porosity is good to go. I think that is right. I don't know if I've not said enough, but yeah. With high porosity, I would definitely suggest that you do protein treatment, strengthen your hair, because one thing with high porosity is that you grab moisture, but the moisture does not stay in the hair, it releases, it literally escapes as soon as it comes in. So ensure that you are proteined up, okay? So you are building a good foundation for the colour to sit and stay in your hair shaft. Especially if you're going for red colours, you definitely need to do your protein treatments, and this will also strengthen your hair from breaking or shrinking during the process and after your hair is coloured. So with high porosity, just moisturise, deep condition and protein treatments before you have the colour done. Is do a strand test, okay? Because a lot of people don't do strand tests and are very disappointed when they have had their hair coloured, okay? The disappointments could be that your hair colour is uneven. So you would have, for instance, dark roots and then light ends, or you'd have like a reverse ombre colour. And if you want an even tone appearance, then I suggest that you do a strand test. Okay, because the strand test is going to indicate to you what the colour is going to look before you actually have the service done, okay? And this will save you from, this will safeguard you from damaged hair and from a lashback of colour build up on your hair. And you want to ensure that your elasticity is like on point, okay? Ensure that your elasticity is just perfect enough so that your hair is able to bounce back to its natural state once it's coloured. Because what colours can do is that it can change the curl pattern, and then you're left with straight hair, and that's going to be disappointing, okay? How the strand test is done is you can either sit and have one section of your hair coloured, or you can just have just a section of your hair clipped off, okay? And the hairdresser will then apply the colour on a foil, left over an hour for development, which is 40 minutes. Left for 40 minutes, or the required time of the colour process, and that way they are able to check how your hair condition and how the colour is going to look on your hair shaft. So then that way when you come in, you can see the colour, and if you like it, then you can go ahead. If you don't like it, then you can change your mind and try something different. To safeguard yourself, you want to do a skin test prior to having your colour done. Some people have had really bad experiences. They have broken out in a rash all over their body, or their body has inflamed, or they've had, you know, disorders, skin disorders, and they've, you know, just experienced it's been a real disaster, and they've ended up in A&E, and you know, it's just been a case of, you know, people being sued, salons being sued, because the skin test hasn't been done. So if you're going to have your hair coloured all over, definitely go for a skin test. If they don't do it, ask for one, okay? By law, you're supposed to have a skin test to ensure that your skin is not allergic to their brand, and it's going to, you know, safeguard yourself and them for any disappointments, for any problems, because you don't want to end up with your face and your body just covered in rashes and discolorations, disorders, because those things it's not even funny, it's not nice, and you know, who knows, it could be a permanent problem. It might not return. It could be a really bad situation. So I definitely recommend that you have a skin test, and this would be taking place 48 hours before, but you would definitely know literally 5 minutes with it being done that you are allergic to the actual brand. And if you are allergic to that brand, definitely try different brands until you find the one that your skin is comfortable with. And if your skin isn't comfortable with any of those, then try other brands like natural organic brands like henna, Aveda, and there's other natural products out there that are providing for people with delicate and sensitive skin. So consider that, guys. And also, if you are going to bleach your hair, okay, if you're going to do like a platinum color with a TWA, that is going to be going onto your skin, okay, which causes irritation. So bear that in mind. There's nothing you can do when you're bleaching your skin. That's just how it is. It's a temporary sensation, but it does go after a while. There should not be any skin disorders through that, but it is known that it can be quite itchy and it can burn for a certain amount of time, but it's not going to cause damage on your scalp or hair loss. But please don't take my word for it. Do your research, ensure that you know this is this is so. But in the salon we have done many bleaching and there's been no problems. 2, you want to consider before bleaching that your hair is not going to change the texture, because sometimes this happens where people have their hair coloured, okay, and their hair texture is changed. Their curl pattern's looser or the hair is straighter. So consider that beforehand. There are other alternatives into colouring your hair. You can high lift tint your hair, which is not a bleach. It's not as harsh as a bleach. It takes the same amount of time as a tint to lift the hair. Now it doesn't lift the hair as light as bleach, but it does lift the hair to a certain point. I would definitely consider tinting beforehand, because tinting's a lot kinder. The tinting and bleaching are similar, but they are, one is less harsh, one is harsh. If you want to just go for if you want to go straight for the kill, then go for the bleach. That's going to literally lift your hair in minutes. I would not suggest to leave it on longer than half an hour. Some people do, but I think because of the porosity of your hair, it can take a lot quicker than others. So I would definitely like freestyle that process, because it really depends on your hair porosity and how quick your hair lifts. If you're low porosity, it may take a lot longer. If you are high porosity, then it may take a lot quicker. If you're both, then I would definitely do your hair in sections and time it, and then go on to the next section until you've done the whole hair. That way you're not changing. You're not going to have different curl patterns, you're not going to have different colours, you're not going to have an uneven tone, but you're going to have an even tone if you do your hair in sections. I know it sounds very messy, but you're definitely better off safeguarding yourself than risking your hair texture changing. But I would definitely consider, you know, those options before you actually do those things. Okay, prep your hair beforehand, do treatments beforehand if you're high porosity. If you're low porosity, ensure your hair is clean beforehand. That way you will not be disappointed and you're going to get the colour that you want. Some people, to get the really vibrant colour, they will bleach the hair and then put a colour over the bleached hair. Not literally over the bleached hair, because you want to ensure that your hair is washed before you put a colour over that hair. But definitely, yeah, there are different types. There are 2 ways of getting that vibrant colour. One is by bleaching and then putting the colour over it, but consider that once you have taken that step of bleaching your hair, you are going to have to maintain that colour, okay, because your hair is going to fade and it's going to just look a bit wishy-washy. So if you are going to bleach your hair and then put a colour on top, you have to ensure that you have colours to maintain that. It may be like a week after you coloured your hair that it fades after the first wash. You're going to have to consider to put a colour on top, just to, you basically want to consider topping the colour to maintain that look that you are looking for. And also you want to consider that the hair can bleed, which means that it can run into your clothes, it can run into your pillows, it can just be on your hands when you're itching. Those things you want to consider when the colours are like red tones. Red tones seem to stain your hands and your clothing and pillowcases a lot more than if you're going for blonde tones and dark tones. There are ways that you can have warm tones without having to bleach it. Now, I definitely recommend the Maji contrast. A lot of you guys ask me about the colours I use, the colour that I had in my hair, and this is the Maji contrast colours. They come in different shades, okay. They lift dark hair and then they come back with then they impart the red tones. So you're lifting without bleaching and you're adding without having to wash your hair and do all that nonsense, okay. So it's called Maji contrast, and you still need to use a peroxide with your hair. Okay, that's the only way that is going to work. Okay, peroxide, you have the peroxide from 3% to 6%, 20 to 9% and 12%. And that is 12% is 40, 60 is 20, 6 is 20, sorry, 12 is 40, 9 is 30%, 6 is 20%, and 3% is 10 volumes. Now the 20% volume is more for if you want to just even out all the colours so they are all the same cut, the same tone. Okay, so let's just say that you want to go for a permanent colour but your hair is pre-lightened already, and you have some bits that are darker, some bits that are lighter. The 20% volume is going to just balance it all out, so it's all meeting to the same place and you're going to get one colour, okay. You're not going to get an unbalanced colour. So the 20% basically gives it all an even colour. And 20% also is good for grey hair. If you have grey hair and you want to colour your hair, 20% is definitely ideal, because you're going to have like, if you have salt and pepper hair or you still have some dark streaks in your hair, then the 20% will even out the dark, the grey tones, and the 3% is if you want to go really, really dark, then you would use the 3% with whichever colour you want, and it will darken it down. The 30% is to lift the colour to a certain amount, and 40% is to lift it even higher. So you will get yeah, so the 40% is going to just is a stronger peroxide, so it's a stronger developer, which is a bit more intense, and it's used for hair that is stubborn. I wouldn't use it on any texture. I would use it for like low porosity. If you want to go quite light, then I would use the 40% peroxide to not waste time. I have a couple clients that I do, and I have one that is low porosity, and since understanding the porosity, that the low porosity, she also has low porosity, so we were able just to sort of brainstorm on it, and because I knew now what she needed, because I've done her hair in the past. In the past I did her hair, and we had to do her hair twice in one day because the colour didn't take, because I used a 30% volume on her hair. So this time around when she came by, I used a 40% volume with the Maji contrast to lift the hair a lot quicker, and it grabbed the hair and the texture was perfect. So and that's another thing, if you are going to lift your hair, For instance, if you want to do red and you want to bleach it, do not lift it too bright unless you want to stay on that level. Okay, if you want to mess around and use like pinks and greens and blues, and yeah, take it up there. But if you are going for reds and you want to bleach your hair, take it to like an orange. That way you've not lost all your redness, because underneath our dark hair we have red tones naturally in our hair anyway. So if you take your hair to an orange, then you're in a better place to impart red particles in your hair, because it's not going to fade as much. Okay guys, I hope I've helped you. I hope that this video has helped you guys. If you have any more questions, or if you'd like me to do another video regarding colouring, please let me know. I hope this video was beneficial to you. If you like this video, please like it down below, and if you'd like more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button, because I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here. And that's it for me, guys. Once again, thank you. You're watching YonkelC, and love y'all. Thanks again. Take care, guys. Bye.